All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'll stop again my praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakadash. Double honors as Apostle Gregory Millstone, Tommy Truth and Ruel. Peace, blessing, and salutation to Akhmat there, scattered abroad to the fork on the earth, that serving this truth and sincerity to us. I say Shalom. This is about Nabala, continue the video in the spirit. And the top of this video is going to be about coming to a city near you. And what sparked this video topic was you seen earlier this week what's going on in Gary, Indiana. You know, with them going on. When I originally seen it, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday. They was on their 6th day. So I believe they're going on either their 9th or 10th day of having no power, of a blackout. And it was different videos showing the people giving their perspective of what's going on. And, you had a combination of woman and man doing it, but it was, I think I've seen 2 women doing it and 1 man doing it, doing a video, just getting their perspective of what's going on. And, a woman was telling basically how you got to be careful and how you can't stay out there in the car for too long because you got people that's, breaking into cars and stealing cars and stuff like that. And that you got going to lock your door, and how people are going out there, looting, each other, and, just chaos going on. And that's coming to a city near you, referencing all these different cities that are here in America. That's gonna take place all over the country, not just in Gary, Indiana. That's soon to be taking place in all these different aspects. Not so like it now, all these different aspects, but in all these different states and these different regions, man. They said I remember I was watching. I can't remember exactly what I was watching. It was a news outlet saying that I believe Iran is supposed to be planning to do some type of cyber attacks and to attack the power grid to create blackouts. And they're saying that to do it is not even that difficult. They say any 12-year-old that has access to a computer basically will be able to, could cause a cyber attack to happen that Iran's trying to do, showing how easy it is, and if that is the case, they do something like that and cause, the internet to crash, and everything to crash where it is a complete blackout, then what do you think is going to happen, First thing that happens, all right, so put in perspective, if you have a house, right, or even an apartment, and the power goes out, what's the first thing you're concerned about? Is the food. Because if the power is out, all the food that you have in your refrigerator and your freezers, man, is going to go bad. You can have, you don't open up your freezer and refrigerator to keep that cold and store in there, but a couple hours, you're okay. But if it's a day plus, then you through. All that food is going to be no good, man. So then what are you going to do next? And then think about it. If that happens to all these grocery stores and markets and stuff like that, and it's a blackout, they have, bigger freezers and refrigerators so they can keep things cool for a period of time. But if things go for a longer than a couple of days or a week or a few weeks, what do you think is going to start happening, man? And then you don't have no answer of when things are going to get back, when the power's going to get back on. What do you think is going to start happening? So that's just when we see us as in the truth, see these different things happen, like what's happening in Gary, blackout. We understand what is getting ready to happen and how bad things are going to get, man. And we do what we do. We give the warning, to prepare yourself. And the ultimate way to prepare yourself is getting on the good side of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because we got some brothers in Indiana, but I'm pretty sure that the Lord is taking care of them brothers, and the scriptures say that. When you go to Isaiah 65 and I believe verse 13, it say, my servant shall eat, but you should be hungry. The Lord is going to look out for his men, but it's going to get very, very bad out here. And you people in the world, y'all going to be through. Because I seen this other video of this woman, this older woman, she was talking about where's FEMA at? Where is this? Where is that? And that's the mindset. And she was a NW, and that's going to be a mindset of a lot of you Jakes out here, man. When all hell breaks loose, y'all gonna be looking to who? Y'all gonna be looking to Esau. Y'all gonna look into the system to save you. They're not gonna save you because they want these things to happen. And 9 times out of 10, they're causing these things to happen, man. So they can continue to move forward towards their agenda, you know, which is implementing the NWO system. They want these things to happen because they know when all these things take place, you know, when all hell breaks loose, you don't have access to food, water, the lights, you know, whatever your everyday necessities, that's going to put you in a state of desperation. So when he comes with his solution, what are you going to do? You're going to conform. So I'm going to grab this. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 18. It says, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Say, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, and we're getting ready to see this happen on a grand scale. You know, they're not really, you have to really research and look into what's going on in Gary, Indiana. You know, yeah, the women and the people, they give little small snippets of what's going on, but you can best believe it's a lot worse than what they're telling you, you know. But they don't want to put people in a sense of panic, you know. They don't want to bring too much light on a problem. That's why when you see things like this happen, they come out with some other type of news and try to distract you, man. Being without power for 6-7+ days, a complete blackout, because the woman, she was in her car, when she turned her car lights off inside her car, you seen how black it was, how dark it was out there. No street lights on, no nothing, man. So what do you think is gonna happen when it's like that, man? So it's not. We're living in very serious and prophetic times, man. And we continue to what? We continue to give Jake the warning, continue to blow the trumpet like we're supposed to, but you people are not listening, man. Y'all not hearkening to the prophets, man. Y'all not hearkening to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because all these things that's happening, we're told. You were told before that these things were going to happen. So when they're happening now, don't be surprised, but you're going to be surprised. So when you come over here to 2 Ezra 6:22, it says, And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, because all the looting is going to take place, man. You know, first off, you already don't have goods being imported in like they used to because of what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz. So that's already affecting these storehouses. And then you got an event like this that take place where people are just going to be running there taking what they want, you know. Everything that was in a secure and a stable state is not going to be in their state no more, you know. That's why it says the sown place is going to be unsown, you know. That's what's happening right now in Gary, you know. Now imagine that happening all over the country. It's going to be complete chaos going on, you know. And that's why we tell you to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because that's going to be the only protection, you know, in these times that we're about to be entering into, man. You know, and yeah, you see a lot of Jake, you know, that was doing these videos, because it was one Jake dude and 3 N-dubs, you know. I mean 2 N-dubs that I seen do the videos, you know. But what does the scripture say? When you come over here to Jeremiah 30:7, it says, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. Yeah, the time of Jacob's trouble is about to be a very troubled time for Jake, for you Israelites, for you Negroes, and even Native Americans. And it's not just going to be Jacob's trouble, it's going to be trouble for everybody. Everyone's going to be affected. You know, all nations of people are going to be affected. But it's going to be a very troubled time for Jake, because the thing is about Jake is y'all gonna be in a worse case than the rest of these people out here in the world, Because even with all this going on, like it says, you're not going to look to the Holy One of Israel. You're not going to look to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. You're going to continue to trust in Esau's system, and it's going to be to your downfall. It's going to be to your demise, man. And you're going to find out the hard way. You know, talking about where you think all this money and support is supposed to come from when you got a country that just surpassed $40 trillion in debt? What the hell you think what type of help you supposed to get? But we already know that they continue to keep punching that debt clock up because they want to crash this system, man, so they can implement the MOTB. You know, we're telling you everything that's getting ready to happen, man. But you're not listening because right now you still have your little liberty. You know, it ain't fully set in yet. It ain't fully affected you yet, but it soon will be. Especially you women. You know, it makes sense why the videos that was being shown about what's going on in Gary, it was more women doing videos than men, because you women are going to really start to feel it and really going to start catching hell, you know, because you've been living very comfortably, you know, you've been taking that liberty that Esau's giving you, and you've been running amok with it, you know. That's why when the system completely crashes, y'all gonna be through it the worst. Why? Because y'all have that independent woman spirit. You don't need a man. You know, you can do this, you can do that all by yourself. But then when the lights go out and you all out here on your own, what you gonna be looking and seeking for then? Protection. And who's gonna protect you? No one. Because all the men that you talk shit about, that you dog, that you left or whatever, they not gonna be around to help you, man. And the same ones, the men that you dogged or that you was talking shit about, they ain't forget about that. So when these lights go off, you think they're not gonna come back around like that? Like in the Purge, it's Hector's time now. It's gonna be a lot of that going around, man. And there's not gonna be no one to save you. Ain't gonna be no guy in the movie, you know, that's gonna come to your aid or come to your rescue. You know, ain't gonna be none of that. You're gonna have to go through that. You're gonna have to feel that. That's how the scriptures say that. And you come over here to Isaiah 32. It says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years you should be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." Yeah. And that's gonna happen. Many days and years, you know, however long that's gonna be. You're gonna be troubled. You're gonna be going through it, man. You know, and that's why this is gonna take place too. This has been the apostles. Everybody been speaking about this. Our brothers been speaking about this. Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name and take over their approach." Yeah, because Isaiah 32:9, you know, all the benefits is gonna be taken away. You know, everything that you used to rely on in this society is going to be taken away from you, man. And it's going to be open season on you. And you're going to be seeking protection. So in that day, you're not going to care if a man has another woman or not, man. You're just, and not just any man, a man of the Lord. That's who you're going to be seeking protection from. Because that's the only man that the Lord is going to be protecting. That's the only man that the Lord is going to be dealing with. So in that day, you're not going to care about sharing. You're gonna be willing to share because you rather share than be out here going through all this hell on your own, man. You know, getting grabbed up and they having your way with you. You ain't gonna be. That's not gonna be a problem in that day, man. So these are things getting ready to happen. That woman that did that video, she was in her car, you know, doing the video. I think she had a dog or whatever. That dog ain't gonna be able to protect you. If 10 men run up in that house, man, what's going to happen? They don't care about that dog. That dog might bite one of them. It's 9 left. So, we'll see, you know, what continues to happen, you know, with Gary. You know, if they how long this is going to go. But this is coming to a city near you very soon, man. You know, so just take heed. You know, take heed, you know, and the doors of repentance and the doors of mercy are closing very, very fast, man. You know, things are heating up more than cooling down. You know, so you want to make sure that you're on the winning side. And what's the winning side? The side of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna close out by giving our praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash. Shalom.